Hello students, welcome to MGC Learning. Today we are going to study chapter 1 of comparisons to that is Introduction to Microprocessor in Organization of 8085. So let's begin. So in this video we are going to study function block diagram of 8085 microprocessor, primary function of the CPU of a microcomputer and timing diagram. So this is a function block diagram of 8085 microprocessor. So in 8085 microprocessor, there are three types of buses we are using. So first to understand what is a bus. So bus, it is a group of wires to communicate, that is called a bus. So there are three types of bus: address bus, data bus and control bus. Address bus, it means it is a group of wires which carries only address, that is called a address bus, and it is a group of 16 lines and it is a unidirectional because the bits flow in one direction from microprocessor to memory or from microprocessor to I/O device. So address bus is a unidirectional. It means it is a one way. The second bus is data bus. It is a group of wires which carries only data. So it is called a data bus. It also has a bidirectional bus. Address bus is a unidirectional, but data bus is a bidirectional bus because the data flow in both the directions. So it is called a bidirectional bus. So it is a 8-bit data bus. The last one is control bus. It is a group of wires. It is used to generate timing and control signals to all the control the associated peripherals. So some of the control signals are memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. So these are the buses. There are three types of bus used in the microprocessor. So the block diagram of 8085 microprocessor, it consists of arithmetical logical unit. So arithmetical logical unit, it is a 8-bit register. So whole microprocessor unit is a 8-bit architecture because all the processing work is done in the ALU. So ALU is a 8-bit register. So that's why the function block diagram of 8085 is a 8-bit architecture. Now we will see the flowing of data. It will be start from the program counter. Program counter, it means it is a 16-bit register. So for example, a program is executing, so it consists of three instructions. So first instruction is executed. So address of the next instruction, that is the second instruction, is stored in the program counter. So program counter does not hold any data, it will hold only the address of the next memory location to be executed. So if this instruction is fetched from the memory, the PC is automatically incremented. That is the increment decrement register. That is a 16-bit register. The PC is a 16-bit register, so automatically the PC is incremented. So increment decrement register is a 16-bit registers. So it is used to increment decrement the condenser 16-bit registers. So it also has a 16-bit register. So it is bringing to the, so afterwards it will be bringing to the buffers, that is called address buffer, data address buffer. So it is a first address buffer is a 8-bit register, the data address buffer is a 8-bit register. Why it is a 8-bit register? Because the PC is a 16-bit register, otherwise it is coming to the increment decrement register, it is a 16-bit register, so it is divided into address buffer 8-bit register. Next will be data address buffer is also a 8-bit register. Next it will be moved to the, that is moved to the internal data bus. That is the data will be coming to instruction register. So when it will be in the instruction register, it is a 8-bit register. So the data fetched from memory, that will be only stored by the register. That register is called the instruction register. It will hold the data that is only coming from the memory, that will be stored by the instruction register. So it is also a 8-bit register. So the data is coming from the internal data bus. It has to be stored in the some place. That register is called the instruction register. So afterwards, it will be transferred to the instruction decoder. This is called the instruction decoder and machine cycle encoding. So what is the use of instruction decoder? So in this register, the data is coming in the form of which is understood by the humans. That is, the computer will understand 0 and 1s. So the way data is coming in the instruction decoder. What instruction decoder is doing? It will be decoded the instruction. So it will be converted into 0 and 1, which is executed by the CPU. So it is done in the instruction decoder. After the data is ready, so it will be transferred to the timing and control signal. So this is the timing and control signal. So we are already seeing clock already read. So all the pins we are already seeing the timing and control signal. So what timing and control unit is doing? So it provides information and control signal to the all the register of the microprocessor. So what it is doing? It is giving information to the it is giving information to the all the registers of the microprocessor. So afterwards, the ELE perform. This is a ELE. It is the 8-bit register. So we are already done ELE briefly. Arithmetic means addition, subtraction, logical means and all. So all the processing work is done in the ELE. So it is performing tasking. So any task. So for example, it is doing the operation of 2 plus 3. For example, it is doing the addition operation. Addition operation, that is 2 plus 3. So it will do only processing. So it means where the value will be get from the ALU. So the value will be get from the ALU, that is the first operand. For example, I am doing 2 plus 3. The first operand is 2. That will be coming from the accumulator. This is the accumulator. This is the accumulator, the first operator, and that is the first operand, that is 2 plus 3 I am is doing. So 2 is coming from the accumulator. It is a 8-bit register. The second operand, that is a 3, that will be coming from the temporary registers. Before going to study this ALU, now we will see register array. See, we are already seen register array briefly in the previous video. Then also I will tell you. So there are two temporary register W and Z. So it is used by the only microprocessor. It will not be used by the programmer. And this is a 6-8-bit general purpose register. It is used by the programmer. That is BC, DE and HL. It is a 8-bit register. If you want to pair it, we can do BC, DE and HL. So coming to arithmetical logical unit, what arithmetical logical unit is doing? If I have to do any task, for example, any addition operation, any operation is hard to do. So first operander will be coming from the accumulator, second operander will be coming from the temporary register. So if any, what is the use of flag registers? The flag register, it will be maintained. It is also called a status register. For example, I am doing 9 plus 5. 9 plus 5 means I am getting the output will be 14. 14. So 14 means 1 is carry. So 1 carry who will be stored, that will be stored by the status registers. So afterwards doing addition operations, any task operations, so finally the result will be stored in the accumulator. It means uh, arithmetical AL is performing any addition, any operation. The first operator will be coming from the accumulator, second operator will be come from the temporary register. If any status output, the output status that will be maintained by the output will be stored in the accumulator finally. Finally, the accumulator will be stored in the result, but the output status that will be stored in the flip-flop. That is, we are already seen in the flip-flop. So in this flip-flop, there is a carry. For example, I am doing 9 plus 5, 14 I am getting. That is a 1 carry. That will be stored in the carry flag. That will be mentioned in the flag register. That is a flip-flop, yes, status registers. Finally, the result will be stored in the accumulator. Next one, we have to study interrupt control. What is the use of interrupt control? So we are already seen what you mean interrupt. So what is if any interrupt is coming, so it is controlled by the interrupt control. So there are two pins using INTR and INTA. So we are already seen tab, RST, maskable, non-maskable. We are already seen in the previous video. So INTA and INTR means TA means interrupt acknowledgement. R means interrupt request. So if any interrupt request is coming, so it is the microprocessor send the acknowledgement. So it will do. That is called the interrupt acknowledgement. Next one is serial IO control. IO means input output. So input output means serially input data. There are two pins are using SID and SOD. SID means serial input data and SOD means serial output data. So it is a data line for input output. So this is a function block diagram of 8085 microprocessor. Before going to study next topic, now we have to see what is the user stack pointer. So we are already seeing the general purpose microprocessor. If all the general purpose registers are full, so we can store data in the stack form. That is called a stack pointer. So stack pointer is a 16-bit register. So it is used to store the top of the stack. Is called the stack pointer. For example, in the stack, what are the, for example, it consists of 4 elements. I want to add one more element in the stack. So I can add from the top of the stack. So for example, I am adding new element. That is the element. I want to add the new element that will be stored in the top of the stack. The new element is added. That operation is called the push operation. For example, I want to delete any element from the stack. That will be deleted from the top of the stack. So what are the element will be deleted? So what is the last element will be inserted, that will be deleted from the stack. So it follow the LIFO operation. LIFO means last in first out. So what purpose in the stack pointer is using? So when all the general purposes registers are full, so we can store the data in the stack form. So it is also a 16-bit register. So this is a function block diagram of 8085 microprocessor. So next topic is primary function of the CPU of a microcomputer. The first one is to fetch, decode, and execute program instruction in the proper order. The first point is fetching. Fetching, it means it receives instruction from the memory, that is called a fetching. And decode means it will be converted into binary form, that is 0 and 1. And execute means it will do the execution operation, that is called execution. So it will follow the proper order. That is, first one is fetching my instruction from memory, then afterwards it will decode it and execute the operation. The second point is transfer data to and from memory and to and from IO section. It means transfer data to memory and transfer data from memory. This will be done by the CPU. This is a function of the CPU of a microcomputer. And also do transfer data to IO section and transfer data from IO section. Third point is response to external interrupt. So we are already seen interrupt. So if microprocessor is doing any task, there is any signal is coming from the interrupt. That interrupt is called the external interrupt. So we are already seen 5 hardware interrupt. That is trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, and RST. So it also responds to external interrupt. So this is one of the function of the CPU of a microcomputer. The next point is it provides overall timing and control signals for the entire system. So it provides timing and control signals to all the entire system of the microprocessor. So this is a function of the CPU of a microcomputer. It also do the read write of data into memory. So bidirectional bus is record. So bidirectional bus where we are using data bus. So data bus is a bidirectional bus. It provides read and write operation. So it needed bidirectional bus. The last one is all processing and data flow is done in the system with microprocessor chip. So we are already seen microprocessor unit is a one type of small chip that is part of the CPU. So all processing and data flow is done in the microprocessor unit chip. So this is the primary function of the CPU of a microcomputer. This is the timing diagram. This is the timing diagram. So it consists of 3 terms. The first term is T state. The T state means a subdivision of an operation which is performed in one clock period. That is called a T state. So in this diagram, so this is the T1. For example, here the machine cycle consists of 3 T state, T1, T2, T3. This T state, the first for example, machine cycle 1, it performs operation. The operation is divided into, subdivided. So this subdivided is called a T state. That will be which performed in one clock period. That is called a T state. The second one is machine cycle. It is a time required to complete any operation of accessing either memory or IO. It means in this diagram, so in machine cycle 1, so we are using 3 T state, T1, T2, T3. For example, in machine cycle 1, I'm using fetching operation. So I'm users 3 T state. So the time required to complete this fetching operation, that is from the either from the memory or either from the IO or memory. So that machines, that full T state is called a machine cycle. Next one is instruction cycle. It is a time required to complete the execution of an instruction. So in this diagram. So we are using machine cycle 1 and machine cycle 2. So the time required to complete the execution of an instruction. For example, I am using add instruction. So in this add instruction, I am using 3 machine cycle. So completing for add instruction, I am using 3 machine cycle. That is called a instruction cycle. So I will give you one example, add instruction. So this is add instruction. So for example, if we are doing add instruction, so we are first instruction what we are using opcode fetching. So fetching means we are receiving restriction from the memory. So in this received instruction from the memory, the first machine cycle we are using 4 T state, that is T1, T2, T3, T4. So the full operation is called a machine cycle 1. So when it is subdivided, that is called a T state. Next one is read program memory. So it needed 3 T state. So it consists of the machine cycle 2. Then afterwards it doing the operation of addition. So it consists of 2 T state, that is T1, T2. So there are 3 main cycles are used in a add instruction in this example. So the 3 main cycle is called a instruction cycle. The first T state means the subdivided of operation. There is operation here, there is opcode. There is a subdivided. So that is the subdivided T1, T2, T3, T4. The T1 is called a T state. Then afterwards, the completing the time required to complete these operations is called a machine cycle. Then the time required to complete the instructions, full instructions, that is called a instruction cycle. So in this video, we see functional block diagram of 8085 microprocessor, primary function of the CPU of a microcomputer, and timing diagram. So this is the last video in the chapter 1, that is CS2, Introduction to Microprocessor and Organization of 8085 microprocessor. Thank you.